What's a good way to turn the insights that you have just shared with us into action?
Well, as we've reviewed, I decided to just give a very long laundry list of possible solutions. And then it's like, a box of chocolates. Maybe you won't like everyone, but there might be one you should evangelize and go out and tell your friends. And whether it's, some of the things around age limits and age quotas for politicians, or some of the electoral solutions, or I have a lot in the book about changing our tax code so that we can be fairer to younger people and people in the prime of their life. But more generally, I don't mean this to be a downer, but my main Civic Spark is for us all to think more than we're usually willing to do about the fact that we're finite, our lives are transient. And that basic act, thinking a little more about why we're here and how long we're here, I think would lead many of us to decide that we have to begin making way for our successors at some point, because we're not meant to be here forever and we're not going to be.
Yeah, that's right. As a personal note, I think people used to talk about that when I was younger.
Absolutely.
They just stopped talking about that.
Absolutely.
I think people talked about this all the time. It was the kind of thing where when people were older, it was like, well, I'm not going to be around, but I think, these are the things that would be good. And now I think people are thinking and talking about how they can continue to look youthful forever. Which is a totally different focus.
Absolutely. I mean, I do a lot in the book with how inveterate it is for people all the way back to seek life extension. It's just that now we succeed, and then there are people who want to succeed beyond our wildest dreams, like Brian Johnson, who's this tech bro who's trying to live forever. And so it's just more plausible that we can't extend our lives. Although, honestly, it's not clear on average whether we can exceed mid-80s as the average life expectancy without some big, cellular level revolution in how we can extend life. And so what that means is that we really should keep alive those elements in culture. It used to be religious ones. And of course, religion does still exist in some quarters, that reminded us that we're mortal. And that would be a huge civically valuable thing to reboot, because it would mean that we think of democracy as ultimately a political form for transient human beings, which we are, and I believe we're going to be for the good. For good reason, not just as a tragic fact indefinitely.